Ugh. Lovely. Lovely. And my hair is a wreck. Look at this hair. But it doesn't matter. My hair is irrelevant. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Hello, creepy friends. Welcome to Nixie Bobs. I am slightly stuffy. My glands have swollen up again. Tis the season, guys. It's now freezing cold. It's like 2 degrees outside. There was ice on the car this morning, despite the blue sky. I know some of you have snow. My friends in Australia were cooking a big old beef brisket. I was like, just sat there like that at them. I'm actually quite surprised I'm here today. Not least of all because I thought I'd be doing this on Monday, but people decided to go out, so I'm here, you're here, I got a free house, and might as well review Thunderbirds that was on a few hours ago. The makeup video I was going to put out today will now be put out in the early part of next week. Wouldn't let you guys down with that. I'm trying to decide what one to do because I've done some with heavy metals, I've done some with the Tarte palette, neither of which are at my grasp. So I'm kind of in the middle of deciding what I'm going to do. But my Idiot's Guide will be starting. I'm hoping I can start it towards the end of this year. If not, it will be the early part of January, because I'm super excited about that. That was my best friend's inspiration, and she just literally set off a little cog, and that's going to be really fun for me to film for you. So, Hyperspeed, that was on a few hours ago. I'm sure you guys all know. It starred David Tennant as Tico. Very, very obviously. He even looked like him. Even the little the digitalized character was literally the spitting image of David Tennant. Even down to the little glasses. It was kind of cute. But Tico has created this hypercar. It's like a new age train, I'm guessing. And it has a balls up midway through. He can't stop it. So Tico's stuck on board with 2 innocent civilians. Now, I'm not quite sure where these people are from. I don't know. I'm going to try and be as PC as I can with this. Were they Japanese? Because I really do not know. You're going to have to help me there. They were asking how they were going to get back to Tokyo. I'm totally bamboozled by it at all. So Scott and Brains are the ones up for this job initially. And it turns out that Brains is a massive fan of Tico. So this goes down well, because I think if I was sitting there, I'd be like, oh my God, it's David Tennant. Not from an, oh my God, I fancy him way, because I just don't do that with people. But just because I really enjoyed his work as Doctor Who. He was a great Doctor Who. So once Scott's on the scene, he makes it his mission to actually get in the hypercar that the people are in, gets in another one, and then he actually managed to jump from his hypercar onto their hypercar. It's meant to be going at like lightning speed, so there's a little bit of a plot hole there as to how Scott just doesn't jump on the thing and just go and fall to his death. Bit like Keanu Reeves and Dennis Weaver in Speed on that train where Dennis Weaver loses his head, God rest his soul. That was a good film. Speed is seriously a good film. I don't even mind Speed 2. It's not that bad. I can't stand the movie Dusk Till Dawn. So, and that got like awards and Oscars. But then again, I don't like Avatar either, and that got awards and Oscars. I have a really crap film fandom. So what Scott goes on the other hypercar to do is to take some tools, which he tries to give to Tico, and it turns out that everything's underneath. So Scott, being the brave little soldier that he is, brave little toaster, that's the phrase I use on this channel, gets underneath the hypercar, literally attaches. He's got this mini-max thing that Brains has given him, which I kind of didn't mind. You know, we allow John EOS, I guess we should allow Scott mini-max. But just when Scott thinks he's fixed it, the whole thing speeds up again, and he's literally grabbing on like that. You know what I liked as well was when Scott was originally taking off in the hypercar, they kind of had a moment like that, like, of like the whole flesh going backwards because they're going so fast. I was hoping they'd have like a moment of just the jaws kind of everywhere, but that didn't quite happen. So it turns out with Brains' help that Tico's made a boo-boo with one of the formulas involved in the hypercar, and there's realistically no way to stop this, so we're kind of going to have to blow a little bit of crap up here. So the way they decide to do this is to bring in Thunderbird 4 for another novel way to use a Thunderbird craft by sticking it in a non-water adventure. So Virgil brings along Gordon, who I think they take a chunk out of this tube, and they put him in there to get himself into the hypercar. He then manages to evacuate everyone. Little girl jumps at Gordon, bless her soul. How is she not getting killed on that either? Like, how are they jumping freely without like being off to their deaths? I do not know. So I think from what I remember, Gordon kind of manages to like he jumps out and falls, and then Virgil like comes down and essentially catches him and grabs him in like that. I suppose it's like an air pillow for a Thunderbird craft. It's like all cushioned. It's kind of cool. Everyone else. Oh, by the way, I didn't know TB4 could carry that many passengers as well. I'm just going to throw that one out there. There were like 4. Like one for Tico, Scott, and the grandparent and child. How? I did not know you could do that at all. It's a news one on me. Meanwhile, the hypercars kind of jump out, and I think they burn up in the light, don't they? Do they burn up in the light? We make them want to die. Everyone survives. Brains is going to help Tico rebuild the hypercar, and I can really see this Tico coming back. I'd happily have David Tennant back, like seriously. We have a little quote from David Tennant at the start of this, which is faster than Fireflash. Fireflash is the craft we see in the very first Thunderbirds episode, which obviously, depending on what one you're watching, has a different plotline. So obviously I think it wasn't our first episode, I think it was the original's first episode, but it was that craft that got caught and Tintin was aboard it / KO, so there you go, that was what Fireflash was. They had to throw that one in there. I thought this one was going to be, I thought it was going to be based on the monorail episode, but it doesn't say anything of the sort about that, so I'm a little bit, to me it contained elements of that episode, which is Brink of Disaster, I believe. Let me just check that. Yeah, it was Brink of Disaster. I was thinking it contained elements of that, but it doesn't. And I also didn't notice that the voice of John Tracy was the little guy out of Love Actually. I kept looking at his name and thinking, I'm certain it's him, but he puts on a cool voice. I like it. And he's in Maze Runner as well. Just going to throw that out at you as well. Gotta mention it. There's a news report of filming Thunderbird 1 and eventually Thunderbird 2. So obviously, as we've mentioned before, the idea of secrecy and don't record us, totally thrown out of the window in this series. But again, what could you do? It would be borderline impossible to turn around and say, you can't record us in this day and age. I think we've said this a million times, but obviously they just put it out there for the world to see right there. How does Scott Tracy immediately know how to control the hypercar if it's a brand new train type thing? How does he know? I'd expect Brains to kind of get in and figure it out in a second, but how does Scott know what he's doing immediately? Brains and Tico are a lot like watching two Doctor Who's talk. It was quite funny, like watching the two of them. I don't understand any of the scientific stuff that they talk about, but like seeing them side by side, it was like two Doctor Who's. And I'm sort of going to say it again, stop judging Jodie Whittaker and until she's had a bloody episode. God, I'm getting so fed up of that. Every time, how can you have a woman Doctor Who? It's always been a man. How can you judge the poor cow until she's actually been on the screen as Doctor Who? Sorry to interrupt, but Imminent Doom? Good one-liner from Scott Tracy. He has another one that I kind of can't remember. The granddad in this episode is hilarious. He is such a thrill-seeker, and he really jumps from one train to Thunderbird 4 very well. Very, you know, agile and quite light of foot. I don't expect any granddad to be like that, so it was kind of fun. Obviously, he does yoga and must be very fit. The end credits of this episode, number one, we didn't have the normal music, and number two, it felt Scarlet-esque to me. Like, normally the end credits are all the same on a Thunderbird episode. This one was totally different. It was like drawn images. Maybe I just haven't noticed something, but it felt quite Captain Scarlet to me. You guys are going to have to let me know, because you also pointed out the piano ending at the end of Home on the Range. So next week, owing to the loss of Inferno, is the finale of Series 2, and it just seemed like it's just come in an instant. I guess, judging by how long we waited for this series, if they don't start Series 3 in like April, May time, I'm guessing we're going to be waiting until next September for 3 Part 1, which has obviously already been confirmed, which is going to be a long wait. Christmas episode, I've had a long think about this, and I'm not going to be the one to be politically correct, but as I've said before in 2 weeks episodes now, I'm down whatever I do. So I think I'm going to probably leave it a little while and do Inferno in the new year. And I think I'm going to do Sham Sham for you guys as the Christmas special, purely because it's got snow in it. And it seems quite well received, the idea of doing that one. So that's the one I think I'm going to go to. I've seen it quite a few times, I know it quite well, I love the music in it. I am not trying to dodge the issue, I've spoken outright quite honestly about this, and I'm trying to prevent hate, okay? Because as I say, some of you have said just do it, some of you have said don't do it. It's 50-50, and just to protect myself, I'll save it and do it in the new year, maybe when the dust just settled a little bit from this episode a little bit more. It is very easy to find online if I want to see it, okay? I will watch it, I've no objection to watching it. So next week I think it's something like we're going to take the mechanic down. I'm hoping we find out the mechanic's identity. I just don't want it to be something like rubbish, like it's Brains' brother or Brains' dad or so, because the characters have similarities and they obviously know each other. I'm hoping it's going to be something a little bit deeper than that, but who knows. Thanks everyone for being here. My voice is actually held up, but I now have to go and get ready to go out. So did I just say that correctly? So I did. I have to go and get ready to go out. Yes, that was a bit of a tongue twister. Ha! Thanks everyone. If you'd like to subscribe to the channel, please do. I don't feel terribly sick, so don't worry about wishing me well or anything like that. I ain't gonna keel over. Ha! And it's nearly Christmas. I cannot believe it's so close to Christmas. It's like, you just come around like that. We got like 2 weeks. Crazy. So yeah, leave me a comment, tell me anything I missed, and I will see everyone again for next week's finale, whatever the hell I'm going to do in my channel, and then eventually Sham Sham Christmas episode, because I'm going to miss doing this with you guys. It's been such a good second half of the season. Bye everyone.